So since I'm pretty much doing this by myself, this makes it really easy. Just screw a board to the rim joist at the right height, and then I can set the bottom down on that, and then I don't have to hold it, you know, while I'm nailing it on. And as you can see, I want it to nail into this rim joist a little bit. It just helps make everything stronger. So it'll get nailed into this, and then of course all my framing. So I just nailed this little 1x on here to give me a flush surface to nail the T111 to now. Up on these headers. Let's work. So you'll have a little bit of a better view. It'd be really sick to be able to see that monster white pine.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 more big cuts. So here's where we're at with the addition. So right now all the rafters are up, our blocking is done. I've started running tar paper, and then also my 2x4s that go on top of that, which I'll screw my metal to. The main reason for the tar paper is just to get this covered, at least get a roof on it, until I can get my metal, because it might be a few days till I can. And there's actually supposed to be rain coming later tonight, so But I think I'll be able to get this on no problem. Should only take me a couple hours to finish running this tar paper and nailing down those 2x4s. Good morning. So last night I got this tar paper put up there and I have my strapping for my metal done. But before I can do my metal, I'm gonna cut all of these straps the same length so that when I install my fascia board down the line here, it ties into this one nice. And so my metal comes out flush with this metal, so my overhang will be the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. I am gonna install this metal today. It's supposed to stop raining here soon. I'll take you up there and show you the strapping. It's pretty straightforward. These are 2x4s, 24 inches apart, nailed down into each rafter. So that's what kind of ties the roof rafters together and gives it its shear strength. And then this is what I'll screw my metal down to. So here's what I got going. I got my first row of metal going. I got to finish screwing all this off. I just wanted to make sure that my first sheet started off straight, because if that one's off even a little bit, then you're going to be crooked as you go. I have 20-inch flashing that goes up here and then it drapes over the new roof here, so rain will hit this, kick down. I got to screw the flashing down and everything yet. Kind of bent it a little. It was kind of annoying to try to get up in there by myself, but I ended up getting it. But we'll make that look a little bit cuter. Straighten that out best we can. And then here's a look at that strapping. It's every 2 feet, and that's what I screw my metal down to. Well, it's official. We have a roof over the addition. I'll take you up there in a minute and show you what it looks like and how it was all done and everything. But I've been absolutely racing to get a roof on this and get this covered so that it wasn't getting rained on. And I got it done just in the nick of time, because as soon as I got the metal screwed on, it poured for like 2 days straight. And like I was saying, it hits the existing roof and then all sheds right down onto the floor, which I had it covered with plastic, but still, I wasn't a big fan of that. I wanted to get the roof on this ASAP. So also with this roof system right now, these are just the rafters. There's more to this that is going to give this even more support. Depending on your area, you can find these charts online that tell you what your rafter spans need to be to withstand the snow load. Here in northern Minnesota, it's 60 pounds per square foot. And there's a lot that goes into it. It has to do with, the size of your rafters, the span, what they're spaced at, the species, the grade. But these charts are really easy to follow. You just find them online, and depending on your area, you'll be able to find that information. And right now I actually meet the snow load requirement, just barely, but there's more to this. Like I said, these are just the rafters and the metal right now. There's interior walls in here. They're gonna shorten up this span significantly and really strengthen this roof. And where there's not an interior wall, there's gonna be a big beefy beam that gives us even more support. So when it's all said and done, when it's finished, this thing will be built to withstand any sort of snow load. And as far as the snow that's gonna slide off of this roof up here, it never gets more than, that's a 12-12 pitch up there, and it never gets more than 1/4 of an inch before it slides down anyway. And when that snow slides off, it'll all be landing where this splices together, which is right on this wall, which I'm kind of a big fan of because there's a lot of support there. So that 60 pounds per square foot, I'm assuming that is like if you never shovel your roof, which most people's roofs up here hold snow. A 412 roof pitch is very common up here. It doesn't shed snow. It's not like it slides right off like this cabin did with the 12-12 pitch. And so whenever you get a real snowy winter, most people shovel off their roofs. It's a good idea to do that anyway. But I still wanted to make sure I definitely exceed that 60 pounds per square foot requirement, because, it's like, what if I'm not here? You never know, right? If I'm gone or something and then we get, a 2-foot snowstorm or something crazy, I want this thing to be able to hold a significant snow load, even though, as long as I'm here, I'll be keeping the snow clear for the most part. So here's a look at what I got going on up here. So you guys saw the strapping. Those are 2x4s nailed down into each rafter with 3.5-inch spiral shank nails. And then your metal just screws down to those 2x4s. These metal screws, people have asked about these before. This is a rubber gasket that goes around the head of the screw. And when you screw it down, you compress that rubber gasket, and that's what gives you a watertight seal. So roofing metal is a pretty permanent solution. There's really nothing that goes bad with the panels themselves, but those screws, that rubber gasket that goes around them, over time, they can kind of corrode and crack, just from the weather. So over, many years, it's hard to say how long, you might have to pop those screws up and put new ones down just to keep that watertight seal. But I'll tell you what, that sure beats shingling if you ask me. And so then I have this metal flashing, which you can see it's 20 inches wide. It goes 10 inches up into the existing roof here underneath those. and then over top of the new one so that water hits this and then sheds down the roof. And there's no water that can get up underneath there. And then there is tar paper underneath this too. And same thing as the flashing, goes underneath that, goes over top of this tar paper underneath here. So it's kind of an extra layer of protection. There's no reason any water should ever get in here, especially with this pitch. I mean, it sheds really well. But yeah, you know, like I said, main thing is that this is waterproof. So one thing that was kind of a concern of mine was, you know, the snow shedding off of this and putting a pretty good snow load on this roof. The thing is, this roof, with being a 12-12 pitch, you never get more than 1/4 of an inch of snow on here before it slides down. So it's not like you get, you know, like a foot of snow or 2 feet build up and then it all comes crashing down. It just slowly slides off as it snows. And like I said, most of that snow load is going to be right here on top of that wall. Also, this is going to be a pretty nice spot to come up here and chill. Might sit up here and have a beer once in a while. This tree is going to have to go, unfortunately. But I think that's it. So the next stage of the game here is to finish sheeting this in so that this is weather tight and dried in, installing the windows. So that'll be the next video. Yeah, finish up that sheeting, get this closed in, weather tight, windows installed. I'll do some caulking around the blocking, and then it'll be time to widen this a little bit and cut our opening, and it's a part of the cabin now. So as soon as that thing's dried in, I can get back to this thing and get this thing roofed. And then, like I said, these logs, I'm gonna let them sit for the summer, let them shrink, let this settle a little bit, and then chink it in the fall, build the floor. And then I can start going on the inside of this next winter. But other than that, I think it's time for my summer haircut. So I think Sierra and I are gonna do that today. Then maybe go do some fishing. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.